Welcome to the TNS Field Manual for most TNS Arma operations. The following provides useful information for both new and veteran players alike. If there are further questions this guide does not answer, please ask your squad lead. Remember, be polite and respect one another, but most importantly, have fun. See you on the battlefield, troops. Well, that was close.
Alright, so let's say you just downloaded Arma 3 and you're running into problems and don't know how to fix it. Step 1 that you always want to do, go into Steam library here, right click on Arma 3, head down to Properties. Next you want to go to Installed Files, and you want this bottom section here. Go ahead and click on Verify Integrity of Game Files. That'll run through all the files, check it, make sure it's all good for you. If anything's wrong, it'll automatically download it and fix it for you. Next up, once you got it downloaded, Seabass here is going to be so kind as to send you a link with all the mods that you need. So all you have to do, super simple, click the download button, bam, it'll pop it right into your desktop or wherever you have your downloads set to. Go ahead and close out of that. Now we're on our Arma page here. Now this is the launcher. We want to go into mods, and you want to double check that you unload all your mods right from the get-go. That way we are starting fresh, clean, and ready to go. Next, we want to click on More. Import list of mods from a file. Go ahead and click on that. It'll pull you up here, and you want to find that mod list that Seabass provided. Go ahead and click on it, hit open. Now at the top right you'll see preset is TNS mod list. You want to make sure you have that saved. It should automatically save, but just go ahead and click up there to double check, and you should have all your mods ready to go. Next up, once you're ready with all your mods, you can head down to servers, and this is where you will search for Seabass's server. It should be in friends, as long as you have him as a friend on Steam. And once you're there, you can click on his name, type in the server password, which we will give you when we are ready, and you should be good to go.
Once you have joined the server, you will be greeted with a role assignment screen just like this one. You have to pick a role, and then you will be allowed into the mission. I ask that you please do not pick any of the Zeus slots. Pick, instead, any of the other available slots here. You should be assigned a squad leader beforehand. Once you've picked a slot, you hit OK, and you'll load into the mission. You will hit continue.
Be advised, new insertion point ready.
And you will spawn in just like this. If you are killed in combat, in this case I'll just respawn. On the bottom left here, you will have different respawn locations. In this case, I only just have the one. So you will select base respawn, or whatever other available respawn is there, and you will hit respawn, and it will respawn you right in the base. Once you have joined my mission, the first thing you're going to want to do is to locate the arsenal. Usually, the arsenal is located in a box that looks a lot like this, and it will say arsenal when you look at it. Hitting spacebar or scroll wheel and selecting it with spacebar as well, you will then enter the arsenal. You may have a brief loading screen when you enter the arsenal. Once here, you pick your loadout. So there's a whole list of weapons, uniforms, backpacks, anything. You can pick whatever you want. My only ask is that you pick a blue 4 uniform unless told otherwise, so that there's no blue on blue fire, or to at least minimize it as much as possible during the missions. Once you're in the arsenal and you're all ready to pick out what you want, I have a brief list of recommended equipment that I suggest you have during my missions. So I'm just gonna grab some random junk here. I will grab a carrier rig, and I will grab a carry-all backpack. And then if you select, say, your rig here, your vest, or your backpack, what I would recommend you carry in this massive list of things here is just a few things to help you out. I would suggest carrying at least 5 basic bandages and 10 packing bandages. I usually carry at least 1 bag of blood, but I like to carry 2. I'll carry 3 cable ties in case we have prisoners. A defusal kit. Earplugs is a must if you don't want to get deaf. I also like to carry an entrenching tool. I will carry 5 epinephrine auto-injectors. These speed up your heart rate. It's adrenaline. I will also carry a Maglite XL50. This is also a must so that you can see your map during night missions. I will also carry 5 morphine auto-injectors. These will help get rid of the pain white filter that you have on the edges of your screen if you've been shot. Or if you're overdosing on epinephrine, then the morphine can help counter that. It slows down your heart rate. You can carry a mine detector if you wish. And then I would also carry some splints. They will fix broken limbs. Now for the surgical kit and the toolkit, you don't have to carry these. You can have a dedicated member of your squad carry these. But these are things that I would consider carrying if you have the space for it. And I believe other than ammunition and grenades, smoke grenades, chem lights, all that good stuff, that should be pretty much everything that you should carry during my missions. Once you have everything that you want, you can come down here and click save. And you can name your loadout whatever you wish. And this will carry over into other servers. This is a loadout that is saved to your user profile on Arma. So I'm going to save that, and then I can press load, and as you can see, it's there. I'm going to grab one that I already have. I'm going to hit load, and then I'm going to leave the arsenal, and I have my loadout. I also run a script on most of my missions where it will automatically save your loadout when you leave the arsenal. So when you respawn, I will have this current loadout that I have right now. And I can even open my inventory, and let's just take off like my sound suppressors, for example. Walk up to the arsenal, open it, close it, and it will save this how I am right now for when I respawn. Part of the reason why I ask that you wear a correct or acceptable uniform during my operations is for PID. As you can see here, we have a Blue 4 man on the left and an Op 4 man on the right. At a distance, I won't be able to see names or squad icons, so I have to identify them by their uniform. A good rule of thumb is if you're not entirely sure, don't fire upon them unless you know that everything in front of you is the enemy. The exception, of course, being civilians. Lastly, grenades. On the top right of your screen, you will see that it says IR grenade for me. If you press left Control G, it will toggle through different throwable items. So I'm going to select the white smoke, and then pressing G, I can throw my smoke grenade out. There'll be a brief cooldown where I can't throw anything else to prevent spamming, and I can throw again. This is something very important to keep in mind when in the base or near the arsenal, that you do not accidentally throw a live grenade or anything really while people are trying to make their loadouts. During your mission, you may find yourself lost, stranded, and without support. Fear not. You're never alone with your training, and oftentimes you'll be closer to civilization than you think.
Oh, hey, neighbor.
To open your map, you press M for map, and you will see you have the map at your disposal. If you have a GPS, you will always see your location on the map. If you press left control and hold left mouse click, you can draw on the map. If you have a GPS and you have your GPS panel open, you will be able to see what you have drawn on the map in your panel. To delete any drawings, you hover over it and you press delete. You can also double left click to place a dot or any other kind of marker and color it, and you can change its orientation and direction, and you can also name it anything you wish. You can also choose what channel it shows up on, and those who are in that same channel will also be able to see it. Also, if you press left shift and click, you can place a personal waypoint on the map that you can see in world. You can see the 589 meters distant from me. On the topic of channels, in order to open the channel chat box, you hit slash, you can type, and to select what channel you use, you press period to toggle through the different channels. We prefer you use global, but we may ask you to use others. We ask that you do not engage in horseplay in or around the arsenal while players are building their loadouts. This is to prevent griefing and general frustration while getting mission ready. Please keep vehicles outside of the arsenal area as well.
When playing the Arma 3, we ask that you not only respect others, but also listen to your Zeus.
Drop and give me 50, maggot.
And most importantly, remember, fun isn't fun without some fun involved, so have some fun, recruits.
Some additional key bindings will be for things like advanced movement and asymmetrical. You'll want to hit escape, go to configure, controls, and then under custom controls, you'll want to go to use action 1, and my personal recommendation is to set it to left control plus space. This will allow you to do advanced movement. Additionally, you'll want to go to configure add-ons and set your interact key to left windows, your self interaction key to left control plus left windows, and then at the very bottom, open medical menu H. This will allow you to do things like climb over small obstacles like this fence. In vanilla Arma, V will allow you to vault over it, while things like advanced movement will allow you to look at a taller obstacle such as this fence and hit left control space, and you will clamber right over it. Some more key bindings you'll want to set up are for things like your panels and target lock. Panels show useful information like your minimap if you're carrying a GPS, or mines if you're carrying a mine detector. To set these up, you will go into configure, controls, you want to go to common, and you will look for right panel next, left panel next. I have mine set to my bracket keys. For the target lock, I use ACE for that. I go to configure add-ons, you want to go to ACE weapons, and at the very bottom I have lock target hold set to tab. I've set up a demonstration to show this for you. So here I have a Titan AT launcher and a target set up. Now I'm in thermal view and I can toggle that using N. You can also toggle your fire mode using F between top down and direct fire. I like top down, it tends to kill my target better. So going into thermal and then pressing and holding tab, you will get a tone that it's locking and the crosshair zooming in on it. Once you have a lock, you just fire. One enemy tractor down. When it's nighttime, it can be very difficult to see your surroundings as well as navigate on the map. N will activate your night vision if you're carrying NVGs. When you open your map, if you are not near a light source, it will be pitch black. I will demonstrate this for you, and I will show you how to turn on your flashlight so that you can read the map in the dark. So over here I'm in a very dark area. When I open my map, it's impossible to see. Using left control Windows key for your self actions with Ace, you go over to flashlights, and you can use either your pistol flashlight if you have one, or your Maglite XL50. If you release on that, you now have a flashlight for your map.
While also in nighttime battle, you can use lasers. Lasers are quite useful when pinpointing enemies, such as Seabass over here nodding at me. You can turn these on by hitting L on your keyboard. On and off, on and off. Have you ever wondered how to climb on stuff as a kid? Well, don't worry. Kill Captain's here to save the day. Come on up to your wall here. Angle yourself upward a little bit. Go ahead and press Control and Space, and you can climb right up on that wall. Now this applies for nearly anything that you can reach. So this vehicle here, Control Space, climb up on it. Bam, just that easy. Now, did your dad not teach you how to change this tire? No worries. Once again, Kill Captain has you covered. Come up to it, hit that window button, and you have to angle yourself for certain things. So the interactions will show you multiple features and designs, but if you get real nice and close, you can see certain parts of the car, such as the remove wheel. So we'll go ahead and we'll just hover over that and let go of the Windows key, and it'll do the work for us. Bam, just like that. Now, many vehicles come with certain items brought with it. So if we go into the interactions and cargo, we can see, oh look, a spare wheel. Let's go ahead and unload that spare wheel, because that's what we need today. Now we are carrying this, and we are going to lower it down for us and set it down right here. They're so kind to tell you what kind of buttons you need for that. Now we're going to get real close again, and we're going to hit change wheel. Now we are replacing the tire that was broken, and boom, there it is. We have now have a fixed tire. Beautiful. Now I'm going to move on to showing you how to refuel your vehicle. Bring it on up close. And go ahead and hop on out. Now you have multiple types of refueling. So we have a refuel truck here. You'll also be able to go to gas stations or vehicles like this, the Nemera. The Nemera carries repair supplies as well as a small amount of gas. For large amounts of gas, you want to use a gas station or a big tanker like this. Oh, we'll go up to it. We'll hit the Windows key again. Move over to the interactions, click on refuel, and we'll go to take fuel nozzle. Now you can see we do have a fuel nozzle here, and we'll go ahead and look at our car and hit connect, and now it's refueling. It will tell you when it is completed, so now we can go ahead and hit that Windows key again, grab the fuel nozzle, and we can right click to return the fuel nozzle back to its vehicle. Lastly, but certainly not least, we're going to check out tow ropes. So you want to come up to your vehicle, use your scroll button at the top left, you will see an option called tow ropes. You can middle mouse click that. Now you can bring it around, and we can connect it to certain areas of the vehicle. Now there is a limit to the range on these, so you can't get too far. Then you want to scroll to hit attach to tow ropes, and it went ahead and assumed the position, which for this vehicle is the front, and now we'll be able to pull this vehicle. Now I'm sure you're wondering, how do I open my inventory? Great question. You want to hit I on your keyboard, and bam, you can see everything right then and there. You can click on your multiple items that you have. You can click on anything in here, as well as change the attachments on your gun. You can also, in this menu, click and drag to move things from your inventory to the ground. Now you can also do this on dead enemies that you've killed. You move up to them and hit I, or scroll wheel to open the menu. You can scroll wheel to hit inventory, and bam, you see it there. Now we're gonna go ahead and drag it to pick it back up. And you can also lean in this game. So you hit Q and E to lean. If you double tap Q or E, you will stay in that position until you hit something else to change it. Now you can double tap Q to hold it, and you can zoom in and you'll stay in that position. You can also walk around and stay in that position. If you're looking to crouch, you hit X to crouch and stand back up, and as well as Z to lay down. Now while you are laid down, you can hit Q and E to do a rollover if you need to move positions. Next up, if you're wanting to zoom in, you hit the right mouse button to zoom. And if you are like me and you have two types of zooming attachments on your gun, you can zoom in and then control right click to change your zoom function. Many guns have multiple firing options. So if you look at the top right, you can see we are in full auto by all the white bars. Now if you hit F, you can change to a different firing mode. So now we are on single fire, and then F again to go to full auto. Now let's say you want to open this door. There's two ways you can do it. You can do it the long, boring process of scrolling on your mouse and hitting open door. Do it again to close door, or you can come right on up to it, hit the space button, and it will open for you.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Medic! Medic!
That's right, everyone. Ace Medical is finally making its return to our ops. It's very important that you know how to heal your teammates and what supplies to use as a medic. This will be vital to our mission's success. Alright, so we're going to hop into Ace Medical now. There's two ways that you can heal a player. So if we go up to our rifleman here, he's not injured, but I am going to show you how you can see him through the small menu. So if you just go up to him and hit the Windows key, you can go ahead and see all parts of this player. So there's his torso. If you want to move up to his head, just look at his head. If you want to move over to his arm, you can see all the options you can do with his arm. Now when he is down, he will be less mobile, so it will be easier to check these areas, but you can see the options that you have when you go ahead and head over that area. Alright, so now when you're looking at an injured player, hit H to open up the big menu. This is the main screen. We're going to jump right into giving him a blood transfusion. This is very important because you want to make sure he doesn't lose all of his blood and die. We're gonna let that finish. And boom. Alright, he's got some blood. We're gonna move on to bandaging all of his wounds. You can see this through the main menu there. You can see all the yellow portions of his body. So you want to click a portion of his body. So let's say his arm, for example. And we're going to go back and forth between the bandages and the field dressing. So going back and forth between these two will be the best way to bandage a player. And once you do so, you'll see there he's got a blue leg. That is after going back and forth between bandages. Sometimes it takes just one, as you just saw there. Other times it takes 3 or 4 bandages to actually fix the player. As you see, we're working through each body part and slowly fixing them up. And there you see we've managed to fix all his body parts. Now we're going to give him another round of blood. We just want to keep that blood flowing. When looking at the menu, you will see the area that says how much blood he's lost. That's on the right side. The darker color it is, the worse he is. In other words, the more blood he's lost. So we want to make sure that we are pumping him more and more blood. That color and words will change as he receives a sufficient amount of blood. Now, as you can see, we are fixing those legs by adding a splint to him. He also had a broken arm. We added a splint to that as well. And you can see the color just went from lost a large amount of blood. It previously said lost a fatal amount of blood. It's orange color now. That is a good sign. This is what we want to see, him gaining blood back into his body. At this point, it does take some time, so we'll jump to him being better off. Once you see he has received a sufficient amount of blood, which will be a light yellow. I couldn't get it to show on this one, but it'll be a light yellow and said lost some amount of blood. You can go ahead and inject them with 1 epinephrine and 1 morphine to revive the player. There will be times where the player automatically revives on himself. In that situation, don't bother giving him anything. Alright, this is your basic training tutorial on how to fly. Today we're going to try flying the Chinook. So, you want to go on up to it. Scroll wheel, this is where you can choose where to sit. We're going to hop in that pilot seat. Okay, now that we're in, I personally recommend that you hit numpad enter to go into third person view, and you can double tap alt to change your viewing mode from standard set position. Double tap and you can freely move your mouse to see any angle of the chopper. Now, how to start your engine, we'll go over that in a minute, but first off, you want to turn off mouse steering. How you do this, hit escape, go down to configure, controls, and under the show area you want to go to vehicle movement and scroll down to car more left, car more right, and you want to turn these off or set them to nothing. So we're going to go in there, select them, hit delete, go to OK, go to car more right, select mouse right, delete, OK, and they're gone. Now you want to do this because when you're flying, it can be very annoying when you're trying to move around and you want to view different areas via using your mouse, and your chopper just completely flings itself to the left. Now, how to start? Go ahead and press shift to turn on your engines, and you want to let them warm up, speed up quite a bit before we try to lift off. Now it is pretty loud, so I'm going to put in my earplugs to just kind of dull out that sound a little bit. Now that we're all warmed up, you can hold shift and that'll lift you off the ground. We're going to get a little bit of altitude going for us. You can check your altitude on the top left there. So we're about 100 meters in the air. Now, when flying, you want to look around freely through your mouse, hold Alt. You see we are kind of moving forward a little bit. That's just our angling. How to adjust angling, it's all simple. It's your WASD. Now, if you want to hover, click on your scroll and you can turn on auto hover. Now, this is a slightly weird system, so it jerked us around a little bit to stabilize us, but now we are stable. You only want to use this in very specific situations, as it can be a little janky. If you're still new to learning how to fly, I recommend don't even try using it. We're going to go ahead and turn that back off. When flying with people, you want to open the ramp up. You can again scroll by hitting and then hitting open ramp. You also have the gear up function and lights on. Lights on we can't see exactly. You also have collision lights. Again, those are items we can't see right now just because it is daytime. We're going to bring our gears back down for this tutorial. We're going to close the ramp, turn back off our collision lights, and let's go ahead and start to fly. So we're going to hit W just to kind of angle ourselves forward a little bit, and we're going to get some speed going. Now, it is important that you keep an eye on your top left to check your altitude as well as your speed. You can continue to hold shift and that will increase your altitude. And to turn, you kind of just want to play in between with W, S, and D, or W, A, and S, just depending on what direction you are going. And when we're landing, you want to lower altitude by holding Z. Now, when you're coming in for a nice landing, you want to start lowering yourself at a fair distance away. Once you get more experienced, you can start doing turn maneuvers as you're lowering yourself. To slow yourself down, hold S, and that'll kind of angle you back a little bit. And as you can see from the top left, we lost quite a bit of speed from that. It's perfect. Landing takes practice, so don't be afraid to crash a little bit when learning. Carefully lower ourselves down. And there we have a nice, smooth, beautiful landing. We're going to turn that engine off. And hop on out. One last thing I want to show you with the Chinook is you can deploy cargo ropes if you scroll next to the vehicle. Now, for the Chinook, you have options for all 3 cargo ropes that it has, or just a single attachment. Just depends on what kind of cargo you're needing to carry, or how many pieces of cargo you're needing to carry. Several of these functions also work on the cars and tanks as well. You'll just have to adapt properly to what you are driving. Now, the last thing I want to show you is how do you go faster on vehicles. When driving, if you just hold shift as if you're running like normal, that will kind of boost the car a little faster.
Wow, this is interesting.
This is good content.